Akansha, you can see my screen here on the slideshow mode?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Akansha. Thank you for hosting me in your webinar series. Hello, everyone. My name is Monika, and I have only one objective today. My objective is to make you the most memorable candidate whenever you attend an interview. When you leave the interview, I want to make sure you leave an everlasting impression on your hiring team. Hopefully, all positive. A little bit about my background. So a little bit about my background. I finished my bachelor's in EE and master's in computer engineering and was having a very successful career in product development. Like many of you, I was wondering, why are some products taking off and some products are not taking off? Why are some products successful in some countries and it's not successful in other countries? Why are we building this particular product? Why are we not investing in the other product? That curiosity made me take my executive MBA and move into the business side. I was responsible for customizing products for different geographies. And that's when I started learning some things we take for granted, like Walmart or Amazon Prime. That's there worldwide, but they are making small changes, minor changes, and sometimes major changes in the way they are offering in different geographies. They have to adjust their business style and also their business structure in order to be successful in different markets. Today, I'm responsible for over $500 million portfolios worldwide. And in my experience, I have seen products as well as companies take off when there's the right product strategy in place. And I like to share that experience to help others. That's how I founded Apex Specialists this year to help startups and later stage tech companies take off. So what is my experience in the hiring side, right? I have over 15 years of experience. I have sat through over 1,000 interviews. I have been the interviewee. I have been the interviewer as a hiring manager. I have been in the recruiting panel to help other hiring managers. And I have witnessed interviews for over 40 plus unique roles. Administrative roles, engineering roles, management roles, country manager roles, all those unique roles. And the same trend I see everywhere is candidate who shows both technical skills and communication skills are the ones selected. When we hire, no matter what the role is, the companies are looking for three things: culture fit in the company, personality skills, and the competency, the professional competency. So if you fulfill the first two categories, and if you may not be the right fit for that particular position, you are leaving a good impression with the hiring manager and the hiring team that your resume is floated around inside the company. This person is a great fit. This person shows great potential. Can you find something that will fit his or her technical background in your team? So that's why I say communication skills are very important, because that's how you show you are a great fit inside the team, a great fit within the company, cultural fit. That all comes out when you have strong communication skills. What I'm going to share with you today, it is something with intentional practice we can develop. With enough preparation, we can develop these skills. So when you sit in front of an interviewer, this comes naturally. The communication skills comes naturally. So I'm going to start with the best foot forward, right? Like first thing, what will get you noticed is your resume. So answer me this one: who would get the first call? An average candidate with best resume or a great candidate with weak resume? So obviously the average candidate with the best resume gets the first call. What makes a resume a good resume or the best resume? Shorter is better. The question you should ask is my resume skimmable, not readable? Is my resume something a hiring manager can skim through in 1 minute and then get the essence out of my resume? So that's very important. I want to quote Winston Churchill's quote here: if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. So that says it all, right? Like if you spend more time, you need to spend more time to write something in a shorter format. Particularly for product managers, communication skills, both verbal and written communication skills, are very important. And to show that you can precisely write your accomplishments in a page or 2-page content rather than writing a 6-page summary, that's very important to have skimmable bullets rather than blobs of stories. An example I would give is if you were involved in a process improvement, rather than saying this was the requirement, I was involved in this process and this is the process I implemented. Rather than that, you can say that you can list the efficiency improvement or the quality improvement. What is that number? What is that measurable improvement you have made? Show your results rather than writing the list of things you have accomplished. Your resume should not look like a job description. So I have 2 examples here. One, the person is listing, hey, I monitored sales metrics, I improved sales year over year, I provided daily, weekly updates, I was involved in war room discussions, health decisions making. I highlighted also grammatical error. That's very important to make sure your resume does not have any grammatical error. So the same thing you can translate into measurable bullet points. I grew product revenue by 80%, reduced product quality defects by 60%, improved customer engagement by 50%. So I need to spend more time to read the top resume versus the bottom resume. I just need to skim and say, hey, he grew, he reduced defects, he improved customer engagement. That's good, right? So you are easily capturing your audience with a cleaner resume. To make things more memorable, I want to make sure what I'm sharing today sticks with you for a long run. So I'm going to discuss this whole thing with an interview scenario. So this is the scenario. We have a product manager position at the ORC Inc. It's an outdoor recreation company. Here is the job description. The responsibilities include product planning and execution through the product lifecycle, translate customer trends into product vision, bring alignment with sales, engineering, marketing, multitask projects with ease, manage internal and external stakeholders. It's a typical job description, right? So we have 2 candidates. Let's say both are equally qualified and they have really great resumes. Both have similar resumes. So we are calling them in for the first call. So let's see how they do in their first interview. One of the common questions you'll be asked is, tell me about yourself. Sometimes it'll be, tell me about yourself, tell me about, walk me through your resume. However you want to call it, this is a typical question you will be asked in different format. Let's see how our first candidate is answering. My name is John Smith. I'm working as a product manager in ABC in my role. The common mistake here is he is repeating what I can get from his resume. I can read the resume. It's in front of me. I'm looking for something more when I'm asking, tell me about yourself. And here is the second person. I'm a people person. I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I'm going to school now. So I also multitask, being a part-time student, full-time employee. What this is showing me is this person is translating, tell me about yourself answer into the words that I am looking for. I'm an outdoor enthusiast company representative, right? I'm hiring for ORC. And this person is an outdoor enthusiast. So she's kind of aligning with what I am, the solutions I'm providing to my customers. And she's also telling me that she is a multitasker. She's a part-time student, full-time employee. So she's a multitasker, which is a very essential skill for a product manager. So this is a great way of portraying how your resume or your background kind of aligns with what I'm looking for. The other common question is, why are you the right candidate? Why should I hire you? So my education is in, again, something similar to what's in your resume. I can see what's in your resume. You can say that in a different way. Hey, as an outdoor enthusiast, I use your products a lot, and my key strength is bringing the teams together, bringing alignment between different disciplines. This role will help bring my past work experience, hobby, and passion together. So this person is portraying how well he will fit in with the team, how well he will fit in with the company, and also in this role that I'm looking for. This is a great way to show that why you are the right candidate. Your answer is also memorable, and it is not something I can read from your resume. And you're also translating your answers in the language that I'm looking for. So anything that you are going to answer, whether it is your skills, experience, strengths, education, passion, resume, make sure you're translating all that in the language I'm looking for. Let me back up a little bit and give you a background, okay? So quite frequently, when a company is looking for a product manager or any open position, that work is not waiting for this person to start, right? Like either the hiring manager or someone from this hiring panel is doing this job. Either it's distributed within the team or somebody is taking up this workload. So the more you can use your interviewing time to show that you are that right person, so you will be the right person who will hit the road running. You can pick up the task, or you are passionate about the product. You have exactly the same skills, experience, strengths, what I'm looking for. This will give me an immediate, I will click with the candidate. The interviewing panel will click with the candidate right away, knowing that, yes, this is the person I'm looking for because this is the work we have, and he's showing great interest and he's showing the great background that fits in with my requirements. Here's another common question. Why do you want to work here? Okay, in this case, both the candidates are going to give me great answers. Okay, you are an industry leader, your reputation is great among your customers, great answer. And the second candidate is going to tell me, I follow your innovations. Your most recent one you had released, the weatherproof running shoes, looks amazing. It'll be my dream come true to work in this company. Both are great answers, but you can see that the second candidate is going the extra mile to show that she has spent time on my website and she has done some research on what my latest innovation is. And she's showing that excitement that this is her dream come true to work here. That shows that she's going that extra mile to show that her interest in this job and in this company. We need to connect with confidence with everyone you are meeting with. And to connect with confidence, the first rule of thumb is research. We need to research about the company, research in LinkedIn, Glassdoor, going to their website, read about their latest press releases, latest awards they have won, know more about what the company is solving and what are their digital media releases, whether you follow them on LinkedIn or Facebook, what are they talking about? What are they proud about in their recent innovations? And also look into what is the company valuing the most. Companies like Amazon is all about customer obsession. There are companies who are all about community, green energy. There are companies who are very proud about their quality products, the services they provide to their customers. So find out what is it the company is most proud about, know what their values are. And also learn about what is the role, right? I have had people sitting in product managers interview and call the role, hey, I'm interested in project management, right? Imagine the reaction. You are sitting in the wrong interview room if you are calling it the project manager's role. And it's not a one-time thing. When that candidate repeatedly calls this role by a different name, you know that he or she has not put enough time into learning what they are being interviewed for. So research about the role. And last but not least, definitely look into who your interviewers are. When you get a call, you can always ask the first name and the last name of everybody who is going to be in the interview panel, who is the hiring manager. Learn about them online. What are their interests? What has been their career path? what has been their recent books or recent post on LinkedIn. Learn a little bit about them. I will come back to how that will be useful later in the slide when we are wrapping up the interview, how those research will help you to connect with the interview panel. Product, I will be again highlighting that later in the presentation. Something to remember is do a lot of research about the product, because that will help you prepare for the product management related questions. So know more about the product. We will touch upon this later in the presentation. Other example questions, there are so many behavioral questions you can search. The main thing about these behavioral questions is practice, practice, practice. If you are going in for an all-day interview, there'll be different set of people walking in and interviewing you. Same questions may be repeated through the day, and at the end of the day, they may be cross-checking your answers or comparing their notes. You have to make sure you are aligned throughout the day. You do not have different answers at different times. What your strengths are, weaknesses are, why are you leaving your current role, what are your goals, and also start preparing about for your behavioral questions too. And here are some of the tricks on how to prepare for your behavioral questions. So when someone is asking you about behavioral questions, what they're looking for is, or how influential are you? Because for a product manager, being influential is very important. How influential are you? How relevant are your past skills in this role? How well are you handling conflicts? What is your thinking style? How well you will be able to get along with the team and learn from your mistakes. So that's kind of things we are looking for when we ask the behavioral questions. So when they ask you a behavioral question, tell me about a time where you failed. Tell me about a time where your project was not done on time. The way you should answer is, it has to be terse, but still it should have enough details. So that's where you break this down into STAR, right? Tell me your situation. Okay, this was my goal. Number one, number two, and this was my task. And these are the actions I took, and these are the results, and these are the lessons I learned. So you can break it down and have example answers for your leadership style, your success, your failures, your teamwork. And if you have all this, how have you learned from your past failures, and practice the same 5 or 6 stories, you will be better prepared. Even if that question was posed in a different way, you will be prepared to answer that. A product manager is born at the junction of people skills, business skills, and technology skills. We looked at people skills so far. So everything we have looked at is how to be influential and memorable candidate in an interview. And the next, what we're going to look at is product management and the business skills. So let's look into that next. A product manager is someone who knows what's around the corner. This is something you develop over time. It's not only what's happening, you should continue to learn, read books or learn through podcasts or reading online a lot. Not only just in your industry, also you should continue learning from different industries, adjacent industries. An example I'm going to share here is Microsoft Office software. So years ago, if I needed a Microsoft Office software, I usually had to go to Office Depot or Staples, buy the CD. And today, that same software is offered in their digital store as a cloud-based solution. These are the kind of the industry trend product managers should keep an eye on. Okay, the CDs are going obsolete, the business, the pricing structure is challenging. If you're distributing them the CDs, how do you keep up with the updates? But if you're offering them the same solution as in their digital store as a cloud-based solution, you can address all these challenges, and also the CD technology is getting obsolete. So this is the kind of skill a product manager is expected to know. What's around the corner, not what's ahead, just what's visible to everyone. What's around the corner that's not visible to everyone, a product manager is expected to know. A customer representation with empathy. That's very important. Whether you're designing the solution, packaging the solution, supporting the customer, or pricing your product, always represent the customer with empathy. Know your customer. I can't stress this enough, how much putting yourself in customer's shoes is, it's very important for product managers. Communication, that's a very important skill. Communication, both verbal and written communication skills, are very important. Interview is a great place to show that you are a great communicator. Some companies ask product managers to do presentation to see how well you can present in a crowd. And in general, when you're talking on the phone, right from the first call all the way through your interview, showing your confident communication skills is very important. And last but not least, building the right product at the right time and influencing that product decisions, right? That's very important because the product managers are the force behind building the right product at the right time. But product managers do not have the positional authority to do that. Product managers are often leaders without the positional authority. So we need to learn, how do we influence without the positional authority? So these are the three ways you can appeal to your audience. Leading with heart, head, and hands. So when you are influencing someone, using your expertise as as a representative, as a customer, or as a market expert, then you're leading them with the head. So you're appealing in a logical way. An example would be, okay, let's say you're designing a software and you want to add another key button there that will make the data entry faster for your customer. Walking your development team through saying, hey, if this is how the customer enters the data, right? And here is how much time they have spent in the past without this additional button. But when you add this button, this is how it simplifies their life, showing them that you know the customer's path, you know the steps customers take to use your software, and appealing them logically. This is why it makes sense to add this button. That's your leading with the head, logical appeal. Leading with the hand is when you are collaborating with different divisions. For example, it could be with your sales, or it could be with your marketing, showing that, hey, we both have common goals. Let's collaborate. Let's get there together. We are in this together. So that's the leading with hands. You're more cooperatively appealing each other. The last one, the most important one, is leading with heart. This is where you connect with a bigger message, with a bigger picture. Most of you might have heard this story. Two builders working under the sun, one builder unhappy that he's working under the sun, and the other builder happily putting the bricks together. And when someone asked the first builder, what are you doing? He says, I'm laying the bricks. And the second builder, when someone asked him, well, what are you doing? I'm building the church. I'm building a home for the God. So he is happy because he knows the bigger purpose, right? He's not thinking about, I'm just laying the bricks. I don't know what's the end goal is, what the end purpose is. But in the second guy's perspective, he is building something with a bigger purpose. So when he feels that he has a bigger purpose in what he's doing, they both are doing exactly the same job, but he's more motivated. He's more happy to do the job. And that's what leading with the emotional appeal is. So showing people what is that bigger purpose they are solving will help you lead them with their emotions. So let's go to that product research topic we were talking about. So when you do product research, you are preparing yourself to answer that product management, product specific questions. We need to know what is the product you're being interviewed for. Even if it is something innovative, at least you will get an idea of what kind of product team you're being interviewed into, right? Whether it is, if it's a larger company, you know which division you're being interviewed for. Be prepared, with your research. Who are your customers? What is it I'm solving for them? And are my end users really my also decision makers? Because, for example, the typical example I can think of is our toys. Toys, the end users are children, but the decision makers are adults in the family who buys the toys. So who are your decision makers? Who are your customers? What are you solving for them? What is the problem that you're solving for them? And who are your competition? So when you do these research, you're kind of preparing yourself for other product related questions you may be asked in the product management interview. How is your competition different from this product? What is the value you are providing or this company is providing that's different from the competition? What do you think is the market trend? Where is this market going? Do you see a sudden shift with the other industry trends, or is this market continuing to grow? What is your opinion? What are the success metrics? If you were in that team managing this product, how would you measure, yes, this product is growing globally, this product is growing in the right market segment I have my objectives in? How would you know whether it is growing, actively being used by your customers? Think of all those success metrics. You are thinking of it from an outside point of view, right? You do not have any interaction with the product team yet. It's okay. There is no right or wrong answer here. When you're preparing yourself, you are preparing with as much information you can get either from the interview team and also from the website. So it's okay to be prepared with the least information you have. This is a product execution framework I follow, right? Like as a product manager, you get ideas from all directions. You will get product ideas from the executives, from the customers, from sales, from marketing, from the development team, and of course yourself, because you're thinking about the product and the customers all the time. And as a product manager, your key responsibility will be filter out and give me the best idea where I should be investing next. So you need to know, how do you do your market research? How do you do your sales forecast? How do you do your customer interviews? And learn what is it that one idea you will put your investment in. And as product managers, we also shepherd the product development cycle. We are responsible in giving the right list of requirements that should go in each iteration. And the way I'm walking you through this product execution framework will be different in different companies, in the sense, in larger companies, you will get a smaller segment of this as your responsibility. The smaller the company, you will have the bigger your umbrella of responsibility. Someone is doing all this in the larger company, but every product manager gets a smaller segment of this. So, but I'm trying to cover all grounds here so that you are prepared whichever segment you are being interviewed for. And when this product development is actively going on, you are getting ready with your market strategy, your sales strategy. And if the product is already also in the market, you are measuring the success and thinking about the product lifecycle strategy and future strategy. So this is the entire product execution framework. Let's dive into the deeper details of this individual strategies. So when you're ready to launch the product, you need to have the pricing ready. So how are you going to price the product? Who else is in the market? What is the customer willing to pay for this product? Is it value-based pricing? Is it market competition-based pricing? Know who your competitions are, what are the offerings they have, and different segmentation. How are you going to position this product? How are you going to promote this product? What are the different channels? What are the different discounts on the different market solutions? So this is combined, it's called market strategy. And how will you position this product in different market strategy? This is a lot of research. While this will happen in the ideation process, also during the development process. The next is the sales strategy. As you are getting ready to release the product, you need to get your sales team ready for this. So you train your sales team so they can start supporting the application engineers or the sales support for the customers, direct customers. Improving the awareness of your product. And if there is a requirement for a demo, putting together a demo, that's all part of your sales strategy. And once the product is launched, we are responsible to monitor the success of the product. So this is where, if you have a business analyst background, this is a great background to have when you enter into the product launch and digging into how is the product successful? Where is this product successful? Why is it successful in one place versus the other? How are we adjusting the pricing in different site in the different market? And monitoring that success will help you adjust your marketing strategy. And also, depending on the product life cycle, we need to start planning for as it goes through the different life cycle. Plan for how are you planning to sunset? How are you planning to introduce the next version? So all this is part of the product life cycle strategy. Last one here is the success and future strategy, right? As product managers, you're responsible for the key performance indicators. What are the metrics? How are you really, do you have vanity metrics or really the metrics that matters to your product? And planning what's going to be in the roadmap. This happens, you can have good roadmap the more you are connected with your customers. What's going to be the next one in the release and how is it going to impact your customers? How is it going to impact your margin? And having the entire portfolio planning is possible when you're closely involved in all this previous strategies. Okay, so we talked about how to prepare for the interview. I want to walk you through what you should be doing before and the day of the interview. And I understand right now, due to the COVID situation, a lot of the interviews are going to be video. So something you have to be prepared is, no matter whether it's a video call or whether you're going to be attending this interview in person, you can check with them what is their dress code. For companies in the East Coast, it's very formal. Even if you are sitting on a video call, it's better to be dressed in full business formal. And if the companies in the West Coast, they are a little more relaxed with the dress code. It's good to check with the interviewer or the person who's setting up this meeting, what's the dress code, and be prepared to match what the company expectations are. The worst case is you are going into a company interview where you are expected to be in full formal, but you're there in a round neck t-shirt. That's not going to put a good first impression. Pay attention to lighting and your audio and video. For example, to prepare for this webinar, same time yesterday, I set up my laptop here and I checked if the lighting is good on me. Is this the right place for me to do my webinar, right? Because don't do that on the day of the interview. If your audio is not working or if the lighting is not good, that's going to just add to your nerves. So make sure you have all the setup, maybe have the same place in your house. That's going to be your interview place. So you don't have to check it every time you have an interview. You have a dedicated place where you have right lighting and your audio video is preset. Be pleasant and calm. I understand it's a very nervous hour, right? But you can prepare yourself beforehand. And this is your hour or your day where you're supposed to calm your nerves and put your best self forward. And something that I do for myself is I write a small note. I speak fast. So I wrote a small note to remind myself that I should be slowing down when I'm speaking. Hopefully I spoke slowly, but I never know. But that is something you can, because it's a video interview, you can do that. Write a small note, something that will boost your confidence, right? You can do it, or stay calm. Whatever will calm you down and keep put your best foot forward. Make eye contact and speak confidently. Even if it's a video call, make sure you make an eye contact. I want to share a recent interview experience where the candidate actually came in on-campus interview, but there were a couple of interviewers who were on the video call. So there were interview team in the room and there were interview team on the monitors. But that candidate made an attempt to look at everyone in the interview room as well as on everyone on the screen. So that is definitely adds a plus point, right? Like you are intentionally making an effort to look at everyone, make an eye contact and speak confidently. Confident body language, make sure you sit up straight, you have a confident voice, no wiggling, no shaky legs, no fidgety body language. Show confidence in your words as well as body language. This is a very important step. Every interviewer towards the end, they will ask you, do you have any questions for me, or do you have any questions for us? That's again another important place where you can make an impression. Sometimes people just say, hey, what are my next steps? When can I hear back? That doesn't leave an everlasting impression, right? Ask questions like, how long have you been with the company? How long have you been with the team? And don't move away to your next question. Listen to what he or she is saying and have a follow-up question based on what he or she is saying. What's your favorite thing about the team? And then move on to your next question. See, if you have a list of questions and then you ask and then move on to your next question, it looks like you are not paying attention to what my answers were. Particularly for product managers, you will be going to many customer interviews, and listening is a very important part of your communication skills. We always say, hey, verbal communication and written communication, but listening is an important part of communication skills. So listen to what they say and then ask follow-up question to show that, yes, I paid attention and here is my next question based on what you answered. Other questions you can ask are, what's your biggest challenge in your role, and how is this position that I'm being interviewed for is going to help you with that challenge? It kind of gives you, if this is your first round of interview, this is kind of giving you an idea how to prepare for your next round of interview. Okay, these are his challenges, and this is how my position I'm being interviewed for is going to help him. So you can prepare yourself for the next interview steps. Interview is a two-way street, something you should watch out for. You know, how's the company treating you? Are they responding to your phone calls? Are they responding to your emails? Are there any red flags in your communications? It's a two-way street. Just like how companies are looking for, are there any red flags in a candidate? You can look for what are the red flags in the company. So choose what's right for you. So that's the end of all my presentation. I have coached and shared these interviewing skills with people in many one-on-one sessions. I was able to tailor my presentation based on the person I'm interacting with. But today this is an open webinar, so I shared this in a larger audience. I try to cover everything for everyone. So I really appreciate your feedback on what clicked for you. What is that aha moment for you? Or if there's anything I missed, what should I add? Because I plan to share this with larger audience, continue to share. Do connect with me on LinkedIn. I publish articles on product management regularly. I would like to hear your thoughts on that. The last one I want to add here is I'm running another webinar on fast path to product management. This is particularly focused on people who are product engineers or development engineers or business analysts. How can you move into product management, learning the basics of product management and how to crack into the product management role? So that's the objective of this webinar. It's coming Tuesday on August 25th. And there's the link where you can follow to register for this event. So that is all I have. And I'm ready for your questions, Akansha.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the presentation that you gave. It was very insightful, and especially like the last part where you mentioned asking follow-up questions. I think that's a very helpful and important tip. Sorry, I think someone's speaking. Can you, uh, if you're not speaking, can you please mute yourself? And also, if you want, please go ahead and give your questions in the chat box, and we'll take the questions from there. For now, we can start with some of the questions that were submitted during the RSVP process, like on the Eventbrite. So I think you covered most of those questions, but one question which I think most of us would benefit over here is interview process, and does the interview process also have any rounds of software development, system design, UI, UX? So I think like how technical should a product manager be, and should they be also preparing for like system design questions or UI, UX, or yeah, the technical aspect of it, if you can answer to that.
Sure. So remember the pie chart I showed, or the Venn diagram I showed, where a product manager is born in the intersection of business skills, technical skills, and the people skills. There is definitely a technical skills required. Does not mean that you should know to write code or anything, but when you are a technical product manager, it is very important that you know what is feasible, what is the technology you're working on, what is possible, what is not possible with this technology, right? That kind of gives you, when you go to talk to your development team, it kind of builds the reputation also that he or she knows what she's talking about. She knows the technology. One is to build your reputation that you know what you're talking about, and the other one is also understanding what's feasible and not feasible. Yes, depending on what interview you're going into, it's good to prepare for technical side. If you're going into a software solutions product management interview, it's good to have that one, have some background in what you are doing. Again, it is, you need not have previous programming skills. I'll give you an example from my own team. I'm in the energy sector. So it's a completely filled with masters and PhDs in power, particularly in electrical engineering power background. I have had a product manager successfully fulfilling his career with mechanical engineering background, absolutely no power background, right? He was on the development side, developed a product, expressed great interest in the customer communication.
Yeah.
Uh,
పచ్చడితోనే తిన్నాం కానీ దీంతో తినలేదు అనుకున్నా.
Folks, can you please mute yourself? I'm not able to see your name, but someone is talking and are on.
Like the idea of mixing those two. Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
All right, I'm just going to continue with the mechanical engineering product manager. Here, she was, you need not have the right technical background.
షుగర్ కేన్ లేకుండా షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూస్ అన్నారు కానీ అది చూసి డిలీట్ చేసిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ అది ఎంత ఎదిగినా దొరకలేదు.
Okay, I think, yeah, I changed my admin permissions and I was able to mute them. Sorry, Monika, you can go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say here is definitely showing that interest, expressing that interest that yes, you can do it, you can expand into that role even if you do not have that right technical background. That attitude is more important than really having the degree. And same thing goes for MBA too. People need not have MBA to do product management, but willingness to learn the business side and the finance side involved in product management, that's all you need. You can learn on the job. You just need that first opportunity to prove yourself.
Thank you for that answer. So we have another question from Dee. She also submitted the question earlier in the form. So her question is, with cleaner resume, how do we ensure that resume doesn't get rejected by ATS, like automatic tracking system? And like how to include keywords and how to make sure that our resume gets noticed and out there?
There are two ways you can get your resume noticed, right? Like through networking. You can definitely look for, there are so many candidates on LinkedIn or who are connecting with recruiters within companies. You can always have that connection and then go through the connection. Okay, I'm interested, I saw this position. Or you can connect with the engineers working in the company who can help forward your resume. They cannot put in a good word because they haven't worked with you, but they can definitely forward your resume saying, yeah, I came across this resume and this candidate expressed great interest in the company. That's that's one way. And the other one is, yes, definitely with this automatic resume screening, there is a lot of keywords, right? This is where you need to modify. One resume will not fit in for all roles. Having that matching, the example I gave, translate everything into the language they are looking for. Whether you have been a product engineer, whether you've been a business analyst, translate your skills. You are not lying anything here. You're just translating into the words they are looking for. That will give you a better opportunity to click.
Thank you. So next question is from Priyanka Angadi. Priyanka, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question because it's specific to a customer success to product manager role? Okay, so I'll ask her question. So her question is, what is the best way to transition from a customer success role into a product manager role? Like what would be your transferable skills there?
So if you have been in the customer success role, you know who your customers are. You know where your customers are geographically and what kind of customer segmentation, market segmentation your products are being used. And you know the application of your product, the pain points of your product. That's very important, right? Like translating your customer pain points into the future solution. That's a key responsibility of a product manager. And you've been in the customer success role. That's a key skill you're bringing into product management. Knowing what your customers' pain points are, what they love about your solution and what they need to change about your solution, what you need to change about your solution. That's a great skill you're bringing into this, because product managers, they're expected to sit 25% only in the office, 75% travel to meet your customers, talk to customers, learn what your customers are doing day to day, put yourself in customers' shoes, use your product like you are a customer, and then learn what is going wrong, right? Like sitting at your desk, you can design everything, but is this exactly what your customer is asking for or looking for? You get that when you are closer with the customer. And being in the customer success role, you are bringing in all that skills into product management and setting the future roadmap with that understanding.
Priyanka, do you have any follow-up question on this? Okay, I think that's a no. So the next question is from Sainath. Can you talk a little bit about how do we streamline our answer if we have an open-ended question?
So something an open-ended question is, I would say open-ended questions are great opportunity for you to position and highlight why you are the right candidate for the position, right? And open-ended questions like the examples I shared on tell me about yourself or walk me through your resume. These are the great places where you can highlight, hey, I am a great outdoor enthusiast, or I am into this customer-facing role, and I've been facing the customer, I've been talking to the customers, I know this is exactly what's been going on. And this is a great opportunity to show what kind of past experiences you have had, whether it's highlighting your strategy skills, execution skills, customer skills, communication skills, leadership skills. Translate all that and position yourself as you are the right candidate for the role.
Yeah, like for me as well, open-ended questions, they can scare you, like they can scare me, but at the same time, like I think if we have done the right research about the role, if we have done right research about who our interviewer is, I think it really helps. And yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yes, and that is a very good point, Akansha. You are right. So I understand in this job market, probably people are attending 4 different interviews in 1 week, right? But that hour you are sitting there, both the interview panel is putting their hour and you are putting your hour. It is best that you are well prepared for this role, this company, this product, so that you are using your time most effectively. Do not walk in there, oh yes, I have done 4 interviews already this week, I know this one, how it's going to go. Don't go with that attitude, right? Be prepared for this particular role, be prepared for this particular product. So when you invest all your energy in preparing for this, you are better prepared for whatever questions they're going to throw at you.
Yeah, and that
so
also,
actually I have a follow-up. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, in my recent experience, like there was a point where I was like, I had a lost of thought. So I had to I had my interviewer to bring back to the actual question. So that's where like open-ended questions are very tricky. So sometimes this is my problem actually. So that's the purpose of this question. So how do I like not deviate?
Well, you can always have a notebook and pen right next to you. And every time they ask you a question, you can write down what question they asked. So if you are deviating and going off track, you can look at your notes to see, okay, what question they asked. So you can kind of bring your thoughts back to answer that question.
I think this is a better answer. Thank you.
So moving on to the next question. It's from Ratna Mandava. Ratna, do you want to unmute yourself and ask the question, or should I go ahead and ask on your behalf?
Yeah, I can do that. My question was just that I have a short experience working as a technical consultant, where I just basically deliver some technical solutions to clients. But how can I translate that kind of an experience into, the product manager responsibilities that you just talked about? And also one more kind of concern was that I'm a new grad, like I'm still a student. So how is that process for the interviewing, different for new grads versus those experienced hires that you do look for?
There are companies who, let me answer your second question first. There are companies who are looking for new college grads and train them in product management in the way the company does product management. Quite frequently, it is the other way, but there are companies out there, they do hire associate product managers and then groom them inside the company the way company does things. And to answer your first question, right, like the technical expertise, whatever technical consulting you have done, if you are inside the same industry, it's easier, or it is the right transition for you because you understand the technical side of it and you are translating your technical skills into the product management role in the same industry. I've coached someone in the past who is in the science lab environment, and she is on the coding side, helping developing software for the science lab scientists. And she's moving into product management, building that same software, promoting them or teaching the product users, end users, on how to use the product. As long as you're in the same circle, in the same industry, it is easier to translate your skills, and it's easier to walk through the interview and explain how you can translate your current experience and your past education into the role.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to this, I think I want to add is like, for a product manager role, there are a lot of transferable skills. So even when you are changing your industry, don't get discouraged, because there will always be skills which you can take on to your next role as a product manager, be it your communication skills, be it your skills where you have spoken to customers, be it your skills where you have like been overly organized in your task, because all these are day-to-day responsibilities of a product manager. So I want to say, don't get discouraged. If you aim to be a product manager, go ahead. There's always a way, and there's always skills that you can bring to the table.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Like whether it is your day-to-day organization skills or managing the team, leadership skills without positional authority, these things are great skills. You can take it to any industry.
So we have another question from D. D, do you want to go ahead, unmute yourself and ask the question? Okay, I think I'll go ahead and ask this question on her behalf or his behalf. So how do you streamline the answer when there is a question like, tell me about a project where you have worked from end to end? And what are some of the important points to ensure we include in our answer? I think because we are talking about like a wider project end to end. So what are some of the key points that we should include in that answer?
So one thing I will advise you, D, is have the job description in front of you. So whenever you are attending an interview, always have the job description in front of you. So when they're asking you something like that, tell me about a project you worked end to end, look through, I mean, you probably would have looked at it before. This is not the first time you're glancing the job description, but they are looking for somebody who maybe translating customer requirements into concepts, or maybe they're looking for somebody who will manage the development team through the development process, or launching, or afterwards customer support. So translating, that's what they're looking for, right? There is no one person, particularly if you are being interviewed for an entry level or the beginner role, there is not going to be one person who started the idea and then worked until the product is launched and supporting the customer. But what they're looking for is how are your past skills going to help me with what I'm looking for? There should be something or some projects, multiple projects, where you have involved in different portions of the product development or different portions of the product management. You can highlight all those different roles, and you can definitely walk through the longest you were involved in a project and talk about what were your involvements in these different sections, and talk about other projects where you were involved in the other portions that they're looking for.
Thank you, Monika. I think we are also right on time, so we will stop taking questions over here. But if any of you have any additional questions, let's connect on LinkedIn. Monika has already shared her LinkedIn account. You can also follow her TechR on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or you can send us an email on hertechR@gmail.com with any additional follow-up questions, and we'll do our best to connect you with the right resource or answer it ourselves if we can. Thank you all for joining us today, and hope to see you again soon. We will be sharing the recording of this on YouTube, so you can find it in a few days on YouTube on her TechR channel. Thank you. Yes, Monika, were you going to say something?
No, just want to say thank you, Akansha, and thank you, hertechR, for this. I'm really glad I was able to share this with a larger audience.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Okay,
Bye,
I'll go
everyone.
ahead and drop the call.